Superman number 8, written by Keith Giffen and Dan Jurgens, art also by Dan Jurgens. Last issue, we left off with the new villain Hellspont seemingly knocking out Superman, and nobody picked up Lucy Lane from the train station. Oh no, this issue picks up, oddly enough, with the Lucy Lane part, where we see that Lois had to go pick up Lucy, and she's already got like a nasty attitude because Clark wasn't there, so she's like, oh, this Clark guy, what a dick. And Lois is like, well, I mean, I'm sure he had a good reason. I hope he had a good reason. And she's like, whatever. Can I get a coffee around here? And then that scene just ends. And then we get into like 8 pages of like, what? Where it's just Superman flying around Metropolis and he's being attacked by some group of glider flying laser guys, and they're like, oh, we got him, we're gonna take him out for all the evil things he's done. And it's just a whole bunch of people attacking him over and over and over and over again for like 4 pages, until finally, as he tries fleeing the planet, he's hit by some radiation burst or something from Star Labs, and he falls back down to Earth. And then he wakes up, and it turns out it was all a dream, and he's actually sitting at his desk. But he's still dreaming, I guess, because he sees on his computer how the Justice League has vowed to bring down the super menace of Superman. And Jimmy Olsen's stopping by, and he's like, oh, Clark, I know you want to see the good in everybody, but that Superman's a real dick. And he's like, oh, what's going on, Jimmy? And because of something Jimmy said relating to something he said last issue, we're able to have Superman jump out of this. It was all just a dream, all an illusion. And it was all because he had a giant, like, bug thing inside of his mouth that Hellspont put there. And he's like, hi, yeah, sorry, had to put that in there. It's a horrible part of the process, but, you know, it's necessary. And I don't understand what it was even for. Like, apparently Hellspawn says it was to show him the horrible yet inevitable future that Superman faces. But, like, he then tries to justify it saying, like, no, everybody on my planet uses the weird bug things. It's for educational purposes. Whatever. Point being is that the entire rest of the issue, Hellspawn's like, I'm sorry I overreacted earlier by blasting you with lasers, but maybe we can just talk about this. And they just talk for a while. And Hellspawn's whole thing is how he was a ruler of Daemonites, and then they turned on him, and they sent him away, but he managed to escape, and now he wants Superman's help to destroy all the Daemonites. And in return, Hellspawn will spare this planet, and he will leave it under Superman's rule. And Superman's like, dude, I don't want that. And it sounds like you were kind of a dick, so, like, why would I help you? And he's like, you dare turn on Hellspont? And then Hellspont starts attacking him. Superman is like, okay, here's the deal. I was never going to do anything you wanted me to do. You constantly been talking, and I really don't like it. So I'm just going to go ahead and beat you up now. And so he does. And then at one point he hits Hellspont so hard, Hellspont's like, how dare you? And like he starts like choking on his own lungs, and Superman comes up. He's like, oh geez, did I actually kill this guy? Oh god. And he gets up next to Hellspawn, and Hellspawn's just like, sucker, and then blasts Superman again, which seems like a really weird section of this story. But regardless, he puts him like through the Himalayas, to which Superman then busts out again, and he's like, oh, now you made me angry. And he flies out and he's going after Hellspawn, but then he realizes, wait a minute, hold on. Okay. When I buzzed out of the mountain, I may have actually killed him, but I don't see any trace of him, so I'm thinking he might have teleported. This isn't the last we're going to see of Hellspawn, is it? As he flies back to Metropolis. If we never see Hellspawn again, I might just riot, because this was completely in concert. This was nothing. But anyway, he gets back to Metropolis. He walks in as Clark Kent, and Jimmy's there waiting outside of his apartment because he told Jimmy that he could room with him during last issue's kerfuffles. And as he comes into the bedroom, he's like, oh, well, thank you for opening the door, Your Majesty. what is it, Clark? What did I say? Because there was a whole thing about him rolling over the planet as a king or whatever. I guess I should also mention that. There was a whole bunch on Superman saying, like, I don't want to rule this planet because I was adopted by it and I was raised to believe in hope and these people are good people. And, you know, the same thing Superman always says all the time. So, yeah. That's it. That's where we leave off. It was... What? I don't even understand what we were doing. I mean, it wasn't incompetent. It wasn't like bad, but it wasn't. I don't get what we were going for. You know, it just felt like it was like, all right, and like, was this? It felt like the entire purpose of it at the end of this issue was to just get Superman to say, "I'm not trying to rule the world," which we get. We knew that. We understood that because that was the last arc. Showed Superman like crunching down his iron fist, and then the real Superman coming in saying, I don't do that. This issue just did that again, but we also added on this weird stuff on top of Lucy Lane and him possibly thinking the world's going to turn against him, which could be handled well, but the only reason that it happened at all wasn't because he felt it was a thing. It's because Hellspawn thought it was a thing, because it's what happened to him. I don't know. I feel like they tried to line up some parallels between Hellspawn and Superman, but they weren't parallels. They were just completely separate, diverging lines, and it's not good. That's the gist of it. Overall, I give this one a 5.5. The only real saving grace here is I do somewhat enjoy the art. It's pretty house style, but it's got just enough flair in the way they do like Hellspawn's art and all that. That, and I also really like that. I don't know why I like that scene of him just like cough cough sucker and then blasting him. Like that was just funny. So yeah, 5.5. Overall, the story was the weakest part, and I don't know what maybe we are going to deal with Hellspawn again next issue. I doubt it. He seems very throwaway, but we'll see what happens in number 9.